Welcome back to the Drayway. We had 2 weeks off. I'm glad to be back with you. I hope you decide to subscribe. We have a lot to talk about. Yes, we have to talk about the election. That's what everybody seems to be interested in. Drayton, what about the elections? What about Trump? What about Harris? What's going on? Well, did you see what happened yesterday at the National Association of Black Journalists? That was awful. There's no other way to, everybody's always wondered, when are we going to see the straw that breaks the camel's back? When are we going to see the end of Donald Trump? You just saw it. That was the end of Donald Trump. That was the end of his campaign. And I'm going to break it down for you why he has absolutely no chance of winning the election 97 days from now. Yeah, he just, he doesn't have a path. And that's what we need to talk about, because in elections, as you know, or may not know, you got to get to 270 electoral votes. Each state is assigned a particular number, and you have to come up with so many votes. And that number is 270. And Trump simply isn't going to make it. What Trump did yesterday, I've been involved in politics. I've been following it since 1976. That was the worst thing I've ever seen. That was just a person that is not capable, not only just not to be the president of the United States. To be honest with you, I don't think he's qualified to be a dog catcher. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I don't think he's qualified to do anything in government after that performance. I mean, he was just nasty. He was argumentative. He couldn't answer the most simplest questions. It was the end of anything that we will ever think of Donald Trump. And we will know exactly where to go and what to say and when to say. When did you know it was all over? I knew right then it was all over. I knew right then and there that there's no, coming back from this. And that's the thing. That's the thing that we probably have to talk about right now, is not only did that end his candidacy, but to be honest with you, he simply has no path to 270, because he can't win Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, or Georgia. And he can't win those. And yesterday you saw why he can't win those 4 states. And let me explain to you why those 4 states are so important and what they really mean. Let's first of all take Wisconsin. All right. Wisconsin has a huge black vote in 2 particular areas, Madison and in Milwaukee. The black vote there is huge, and it's going to be instrumental in building an extremely large lead for Harris. So because of so many black votes coming out of that area and the increase in registration on young votes, Donald Trump simply can't make it up anywhere else in the state. And that also goes and applies for Detroit. Detroit and Michigan. It's not even close in Michigan right now. I think she's got a lead of about 10 points in Michigan. But once again, Detroit is 3 times larger than any other city in Michigan. And the black vote coming out of Detroit is going to be massive. And once again, Donald Trump can't do anything to try to make up those votes, because there's just not enough counties with enough votes to counteract Detroit. But it doesn't stop there. Then it goes on to Pennsylvania and Philadelphia and Allegheny County, or Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. Now, what's going to happen is the exact same thing. Pittsburgh and Philadelphia are going to have such a huge black turnout. You're talking about hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of votes, net positive for Harris. So how does Trump make up all those votes in smaller counties? He can't. And last but not least, in Georgia, same thing. Atlanta, the vote coming out of DeKalb County, out of just Atlanta, the whole metro area of Atlanta, is going to be a massive turnout for the black voters. It's going to be huge. And once again, all of those counties that Donald Trump is counting on to bring himself back, there's not enough votes. So that's why I'm telling you, Donald Trump has already lost this election. And I know some of you are going to be like, what are you talking? It's just numbers. And it's just numbers in those states. Trump can't win Wisconsin. He can't win Michigan. He can't win. In all likelihood, on Monday, and we'll do a show about this in a couple of days, in all likelihood, the VP pick for Harris in a couple of days is going to be Josh Shapiro out of Pennsylvania. And with Josh Shapiro joining the ticket, Pennsylvania is no longer even in play. So once again, with Harris winning those 4 states, she's past 270. The election's over. So that's why I said here we are 97 days out. And when you combine those facts, that data, that you simply can't make up those votes in that area. Those 4 states going to Harris makes it impossible. And I want you to think about this for a minute. Can Donald Trump go to Milwaukee? They can't stand him in Milwaukee, especially after having the convention there, making all these promises. And of course, none of them came to fruition. Can he go to Detroit? Can he go to, I don't know, Philadelphia? Can he go to Atlanta? No, 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 no. The answer is no. So he can't do anything. There's nothing within his power to change what's going to happen in those 4 states. And I know you guys are thinking to yourself, oh, he can still win. He can still get... No, no. She's already past 270. It doesn't even matter. Trump can't win Arizona in all likelihood, and you don't even have to get to Arizona. She's already at 270. So when you saw the headline, the election's over, Trump can't win, that's exactly why he can't win. Because he's already lost in Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Georgia. And that's not even to mention, he better spend a lot of time in North Carolina, because North Carolina is looking kind of blue. And with the election being about abortion and marijuana rights in Florida, every Democrat that has ever existed in Florida will be turning out for that vote. They will be turning out and showing up, because to legalize marijuana is on the ticket. It's on the ballot. So you better believe blue is going to be out in force. But we'll talk about that more next. Okay, let's talk about some of the other states that we really haven't mentioned yet. Let's talk about Texas, Florida, and North Carolina. Yeah, I don't even think we have to discuss Nevada and Arizona. I think the election's going to be decided well before we get out west. But we all know that in all likelihood, Arizona, I have to admit, Nevada may be a coin toss, but Arizona in all likelihood is going to go for Harris. So that's another big feather in her cap. But let's talk about 3 states that we normally don't talk about. Let's talk about North Carolina, because the black vote in North Carolina is going to be pivotal, especially out of Charlotte. The black vote out of Charlotte is going to be substantial, but that's not all. The young vote, the youth vote, people under 30 is going to set a record for the state. That's because of voter registration and young people getting involved. And that's what's really going to make a difference in this election. Did you know that when Trump was against Hillary back in 2016, there were 20 million more boomers alive than there is right now? Yeah. And there's ever since that election, there is an absolutely huge group, and I mean a huge group, of Gen X that is now ready to vote. And guess who Gen X votes for? By 2-to-1, they vote Democrat. So with them voting blue and so many boomers gone, the numbers just don't look good for Trump at all. They don't. They just don't. I just don't see a path. And that's why I said he's pretty much already lost the election, because I just told you how he's probably going to lose North Carolina. Now, these are the two states that I'm not confident in. I would say right now, Florida is a coin toss. And the reason I say Florida is a coin toss for the two reasons I talked about earlier. And those two reasons are the marijuana, legalizing marijuana, and abortion being allowed in the state. Women are going to turn, because guys, I've talked to a lot of women from Texas, a lot of women from Florida. They've just had enough. They're tired of the government and men telling them what they can do with their bodies. So that's why I'm going to be live. You're going to be able to go live with me. I'm going to be live for 7 hours. So I hope you subscribe. I hope you join me, because I want you guys to be live with me, because from 5 p.m. Eastern all the way till past midnight, I'm going to be with you guys. I'm going to be with you guys going over the election, telling you where we actually stand, who's about to win, who's about to lose. I'm going to break it all down for you. And two things I am definitely staying awake for. I'm staying awake for Florida, and I'm definitely staying awake for Texas, because the interesting thing is this. The east part of Texas is going to come in. When I mean the east part of Texas is going to come in, I mean you're talking about Dallas, you're talking about Houston, San Antonio, Austin. I mean, early on, the blue numbers for Texas are going to look very, very good and very scary for Republicans, because early on in Texas, it's going to look really, really blue. So, and that's why I said I'm going to stay on till midnight, because I want to see just how close it gets in Texas. And does Ted Cruz lose? There is a real possibility that Ted Cruz goes down. And if Ted Cruz goes down, I want to be there with you guys to kind of share it with you live. Wouldn't you agree that's going to be huge? But that's, without even talking about Arizona and Nevada, that's going to be the election in a nutshell. And we're going to be able to tell what's happening really early on because of North Carolina and Virginia. I think Virginia is going to be called very early for Harris. And I believe North Carolina is going to go blue. And when North Carolina goes blue, that's just going to shrink any and all possibilities that Trump has to win the election. But, you know, it's going to be a long night for Republicans as they see state after state going for Harris, as they see Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Georgia, you know, and who knows what's going to happen in Georgia. We're not even talking about, I'll talk about that in another video, but who knows what shenanigans Georgia, I have a feeling Georgia could be pulling shenanigans on voter night, and who knows if they'll even certify their own vote. Who knows what Georgia's going to do? I won't even pretend to know. But this is the headline. This is the story. Donald Trump is done. Donald Trump has no path to 270. Donald Trump can't go into the cities he has to go into because he's simply not going to get any of the black vote, and it's a complete waste of time. So with the black vote coming out so big in Milwaukee, Madison, Detroit, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Atlanta, it just leaves Donald Trump with no path. So 97 days out, everybody's going to be talking, but Donald Trump has no path. Let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure you subscribe. And remember, every 2 days, there's going to be a new video talking about the politics of it all. And just remember this video from 97 days out. You'll be able to look back on this video and see just how spot on I am. Let me know what you think in the comments. We'll see you in a couple of days. The Drayway coming back. I'll see you in a couple of days. I'll see you with the VP pick. The VP pick is coming up. Just so you know, I think it's going to be Josh Shapiro. We'll see you later.